Welcome back to the Xenophobic 73 channel, and this is more PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility news. After the news last week that Sony had filed for a patent of legacy software running on a new system, this is more news about that. And fans could see that the PlayStation 4 successor launched with a stunning new feature, and here is the latest on the Sony PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility. We all know at this stage that the PS4 has sold out a console performer this generation. It has sold closing on 100 million units sold as a milestone. We are all aware of that, I'm sure. Sony recently revealed that the PS4 has shipped more than 94 million units since it was first released back in 2019 and has sold now 91.6 million unit consoles. Despite that staggering figures, sales for the PS4 have slowed down as rumors continue to persist that the PS5 reveal is soon on the horizon. Sony are skipping E3 this year, which we all are aware of at this stage, which is largely seen as a sign that they could have their own event planned for 2019 at some stage. In such an event where the PS5 gets revealed ahead of its prediction release date of 2020, and when the PS5 does arrive at launch, it could come with one eye-catching feature. The recent patent had been filed suggesting that the PS5 could come with backwards compatibility support. There is a link to a previous video that I also did, which you're more than welcome to watch just right after you watch the entirety of this news. While the rumor was circulated for a while that what is all with the new compatibility, while the rumor has circulated for a while, what is new is that the backward compatibility could cover all PlayStation home consoles. So the PS5 theoretically could have backwards compatibility with PS1, PS2, PS3 and PS4 games. The patent is titled Remastering by Emulation. What that basically means that each asset as a texture called by for the legacy software, such as a legacy computer game software, has a unique identifying associated with that. The unique identifier can be rendered by imposing a hash on the asset, and when the asset stored within the identifier is a data structure. Now what that basically jargon means is that an artist remasters the textures for a presentation of a higher resolution display. This envisioned of the original software, and when this stores them back into the data structure with their own identifiers, the original software then is played at a higher resolution display. With all the assets in place, it calls for an intercepted identifying structure, and then the data then is restructured with the new identifier, with the remastering asset having matching the exact identifier. In turn, got an old piece of pottery and you have a new piece of pottery, and it basically looks bad. It looks better because it still recognizes it as a piece of pottery. It's just put into a brighter mirror display. It's a bad example, but I don't know how else to explain it. So the remastered asset is then inserted on the fly in the game's presentation. So if this patent becomes a reality, it will be interesting to see if backwards compatibility is region locked or not. So can you play games from other areas in another destination, which was a big thing during the DVD area. You couldn't play something that was in Japan, you couldn't play in Europe, and vice versa. So having the ability to play an entire back catalogue of PlayStation software from all regions would be a huge, if not impossible, selling point to match from any other developer, whether it be Nintendo, Microsoft or Sony. You just can't beat that feature. Here, so I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Can you imagine the relicensed data that Sony would have to wade through, the amount of lawyers that have to go on for past developers that don't even exist anymore? Can you imagine trying to get the software rights for stuff that no longer exists? It would actually be a financial nightmare. But having said that, you have to admit it's an interesting concept anyway, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. But you know, this news isn't strictly complete fact. You can take it with a large piece of granite rock or a piece of salt. It's nice to talk about and it's a nice conversation point, but I don't think that it's ever going to see the light of day. So thanks for listening. I hope you listened to the very end of the video. More news to come very shortly. You'll be listening to the news on the Xenophobic 73 channel. This is the news from 13th of February 2019, and I hope you tune in for more news soon. For now, thanks very much for watching the channel, and stay safe, play safe. Bye bye now.